This knife is very sharp. This knife is not sharp at all. So you probably know that if something is sharp, that means that it can cut you. It is dangerous. But there are also many other meanings of the word sharp. So today, we are going to look at 5 other meanings of the word sharp, and then I'm going to show you 25 sharp things that I have found in my house today. So the first additional way that we can use the word sharp is to talk about pain, when something hurts in our body. If you feel like there is a knife in your chest or a knife in your stomach, that is called a sharp pain. So, oh, I have a sharp pain in my chest. Maybe I should go to the doctor. We can also use sharp to talk about time. If someone says, meet me at 12 o'clock sharp, sharp means exactly 12 o'clock. Meet me at 12 o'clock sharp. Please do not be late. We can also say that a person is sharp. If a person is sharp, it means that they can learn new things very quickly. They can understand new things very easily. Their brain works very well. We can also say that a cheese is sharp. You might see this on cheddar cheese. Sometimes it says that the cheese is mild. Mild means that the flavor is not very strong. Sharp means that the flavor is very strong. And this is mostly just used for cheese. And finally, we can also say that someone is sharp dressed or looking sharp. You are looking sharp today. Sharp means that their clothes are very nice. They look like they are ready to go to a very expensive restaurant or a business meeting or something fancy. So again, you might hear someone say, "You're looking sharp today," or "That's a sharp suit." Okay, so those are 5 additional ways that we can use the word sharp. Yes, there are more, but we're not going to talk about them all in this video. So now, let's look at the 25 sharp things that I have found in my house. First, we've got this. This is called a razor blade. And a razor blade can be put into a safety razor for shaving. Next, we have these. These are called nail clippers. These are your nails, your fingernails. You can use the clippers to cut your nails, or you could say to trim your nails. This is a very old pocket knife. It's called a pocket knife because you can fold it and put it in your pocket. You might also hear people call it a Swiss Army knife, but technically that refers to a specific brand of pocket knife. This thing is called a multi-purpose tool because it has different tools that you can use for different things, including a knife. And you can call it a multi-purpose tool. You might also hear people call it a Leatherman. And just be aware, again, Leatherman technically refers to one specific brand. And actually, I usually do say Leatherman. This thing that looks kind of like a pen, but is actually a very sharp knife, this can be called an X-Acto knife, a utility knife, or a hobby knife. This thing is called a box cutter, and yes, I know that this one is very old. These are kitchen scissors, or I could say this is a pair of kitchen scissors, because scissors are always plural. If you want to make them singular, you say a pair of scissors. This thing that has a round blade is called a pizza cutter because you use it to cut pizza. This thing that looks like a fancy pizza cutter is actually called a rotary cutter, and it's used for cutting fabric. This big knife that you can use to chop meat is called a cleaver. This knife has a blade that looks like this. We can say that it is serrated. It has these little bumps in it. This is a serrated knife because it is a bread knife. This is a knife that's used for cutting bread. This knife that you use at the dinner table is just called a dinner knife. This big sharp knife that you use for cutting most things in the kitchen is called a chef's knife. This is called a hatchet. This machine that you use for chopping up vegetables, herbs, meat, or other things in the kitchen is called a food processor. And this one is actually very small. So technically, this is a mini food processor or a miniature food processor. And this big machine that you can use to make smoothies or to crush ice is called a blender. This is called a hacksaw. A hacksaw is usually used to cut metal. This is a handsaw. A handsaw is used to cut wood. These really big things that you use in your garden are called shears. And these smaller ones that you can actually hold in one hand are called hand shears. These look kind of like hand shears, but you can see that the blade is curved. So these are called pruners, and usually you'll use them for cutting little pieces off of plants. And these look like really big pruners. These really big pruner things are usually called loppers. And the final thing that we have today is this. This is called an axe. And you can use an axe to chop wood. Yeah, so I hope you guys learned something today. Thank you for watching.